the finale tonight. We saw in a sneak peek, Brenda, your amazing shock heel. There's this scene where she has a freaking heel with a taser in it, and she kicks John.
Yeah, I think they did that in post because my heel didn't do any special anything.
Oh, word. Well,
not on set. So they added that all in post. So I can't wait to see it myself.
It looks really cool.
Good. Oh yeah, I want a pair of those actually.
For women, I'm walking to my car at night and I'm scared to have shock.
Totally. I mean, we have the technology.
That's right.
Where are the tasers and the heels?
People in the street should be scared to harass a woman if she has a certain pair of boots on.
That's right.
I love that you're calling it a shock heel.
Yeah.
So someone just, who was that who was just talking about a shock heel? That's a great coined name for it.
Let's make it.
Yeah.
So what are some of these questions that people have?
Well, I have a question for you.
Okay.
What do you think was the most physically demanding scene and or moment for you on the show? I say that because you're a phenomenal actress. So from an acting standpoint, I've always, and I've said to everybody that you're a queen.
Aww.
So from a physical standpoint, doing a superhero show, something whatever that might be, what like for you was one of the most significant that you remember?
Well, here's the thing. I cannot complain in the company of Nicole and Nazzy and you. I mean, really, what Melissa went through on a daily basis, having to fly and, all of the apparatus, I had it easy. There was nothing difficult for me. So I mean, running in heels is the most difficult thing because I look stupid. But aside from that, even that scene that the three of us had in Lex's bunker, you guys were doing some amazing stuff. I was really impressed with the physicality that you both embodied. And that first episode, Chyler, in season 2, where you were doing all of the kind of martial arts stuff, I was like, oh my God, she's badass. See, I swore to make you feel better. So I cannot complain at all. I didn't do anything that was difficult. I know I'm deeply impressed with when people put safety first. Yes. And I know that actors have to speak up when they don't feel safe. So I'm going to turn it back onto you three and say, what were the most physically difficult or more challenging scenes for you to do?
Yeah, well, I feel like one of the most difficult things is just being in the suits, right? Like, I think
is it hard to go to the bathroom? I have to ask. Do you have is it like a production?
So here's the thing. You dehydrate as much as you possibly can, because going into the bathroom,
it's not worth it.
Your super suit, it's a full 15-minute process. And when you only have like quick turnarounds, or when they say that you have a quick turnaround, you only have this much time to go, it's not great. Okay. But yeah, it was no, not by any means. So I dehydrated probably a lot more than physically, appropriate. Yeah. Because you have wires, you have separate pieces. I know, like like Nicole, and Ozzy, as you came to understand, like towards the end, I wish you had more time as Guardian. I really, on 2 levels. One, from a personal level, that I wish you were just there. Obviously,
and 2, you wanted her to suffer more.
But 2, I kind of wish that you knew what it meant to spend that much time in a super suit.
I was like the youngest child who got all the tips from the older kids, you know. I made sure I was originally supposed to have a full suit, and then we did 2 sets with a cover so that I can go to the bathroom. We had removable metal. And Chyler sent me a list of things to ask for that I got. So I all their problems. I've had lunch with Nicole many times and watched her suffocate herself, so I knew to have like zippers in certain places.
Yeah, well, of course, it also helps to have Jesse coming in like with a yellow hard hat and being like, "Okay, here's what we're gonna do with this suit."
He did, yeah, he did that folder. He literally had a folder for Guardian. He's like, you know what, just forward this.
Yep, that's right.
Oh my God.
I think to say the answer that question, mine's I think a little different, but I would say the hardest one to shoot was probably being in super suits and making out in the car with Chyler, leather seats. With
And we didn't see it.
Oh no, did it? Oh yeah.
From what I saw, and I apologize, but from an emotional standpoint, I haven't brought myself to watch all the, episodes this season.
Exposed.
Only from things that I've seen. I don't know that they showed our full makeout session.
We
had a full makeout session, right? I think you posted about this, right, Ozzy?
I can't find that. I have a photo somewhere of my super lipstick all over Chyler. But every time we started the scene, her super suit with the leather seats, it was like blue.
It sounded like I was constantly farting. And
Were you?
Like super not romantic. Unless you've been married to somebody like for a long time and you know that like, hey, it's cool. We've passed this point. But we had a full like makeout session. It was awesome. And we're married, so it's cool. I can say that.
And there was each other
between us.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. But yeah, moving in those super suits and having to do anything if you are in some sort of like leather sort of material brushed against some leather sort of material, it is inevitable that you sound like you're the Tin Man. So
Oh, Nicole just fell off. Are you okay, Nicole?
Nicole, are you okay?
Yeah, I was worried about that for mine too. So it kind of, it's like Velcro because they stick, right? The leathers stick together, and then to get them apart, they make that sound.
It rubs like no other, which ideally it sounds great. But from a sound perspective, I mean, everybody, the camera department, the sound department, all of us were laughing hysterically. And I love that you brought that up because it's those moments where you can kind of just really greatly, from a human perspective, appreciate what it is that you're doing, because it brings a humility to it where you're like, it sounds like I'm farting the whole time. And even though I'm not, it still sounds, it just sounds ridiculous and it looks hilarious. And I think those are just moments that people hopefully can appreciate, even if you don't see it, unfortunately, on screen. If you can appreciate the fact that we are all still human beings and what we do is amazing and wonderful and absolutely ridiculous.
So stupid.
One of the things I would like to say, just watching all of you over the last 5 years, is how much fun you guys have together. Like the joy and the fun and the senses of humor and the camaraderie. There's just a sense of, we know we're doing this thing, but we're also going to have fun while we do it, because it's too hard not to have a sense of humor. So that's what I really appreciated, is that everybody was always ready for a joke, and you all had such great chemistry. Both
we're working that many hours, and it's like, Brenda, you understand, and I'm sure everyone understands. It's like when you're working that many hours and you have to be around people, and I don't want it to sound bad, but like when you have to be around that many people
When
for
you have to be
long,
around somebody for that long, you have to make it.
yeah, and you have an opportunity, and you have like, you know, you can be around people that you actually enjoy. That's a gift. Then it makes it more worthwhile. And I will say, Brenda, the first time that I met you in season 2, I remember walking in, and we were on like one of the Cadmus sets in one of the,
Oh my God, remember Katniss?
in the huge, oh my God, this is why I love Brenda so much. And I will always say, and I have always said, that she is one of the most beautiful, graceful, like light-filled, enlightened being that you could be around, that will literally add years to your life. So when I came in, and I won't do it physically because it's too much, but
Please.
I remember, Nicole, I know you'd ask, but I won't do it. But I remember walking in, we were on set, and it was a huge stage, and it was like it was a warehouse. It was essentially just a warehouse. I remember walking in, and we had the green room and whatnot, and we had all the chairs set out, blah, blah, blah. But I walked in, and it was me, and it was Brenda. And Brenda was on the floor, on the ground, and she had her butt up against the wall, and her legs were like straight up. So she was a full 90 degrees, okay? And she's just sitting there, and she's just like out, and she's stretching. And she's this graceful human being who is just stretching, like, and just, I remember the first part of our conversation was Brenda being on the ground like this, with her feet up like this. And I'm just like, I don't know that I could have, you know, fallen in love with a woman quicker than that. She's just sitting there, and I'm like, what is this? Because she's this diabolical character that all of a sudden has completely like rendered my heart useless. So it was awesome. I'll never ever forget it.
I love that.
That's so funny. I totally forgot about that. I can't tell you how many people I took through yoga exercises during those.
This is awesome.
Oh, you know, the low back thing. Let me show you with that. So, but thank you. That I remember that warehouse because my heart was beating so hard because it was my first scene was with you, and my heart was beating so hard. I thought the sound person was going to have to take their, you know, headphones because I couldn't hear my heart. And Glenn Winter was directing, and we did that thing where I went around you, and that one movement when I walked around you became a signature thing for me, where I started to like think about wrapping people up like a boa constrictor.
Absolutely.
You know? So it was that was a pivotal start for me with you too, Chyler. So thank you.
That was a cultural reset.
A cultural reset, yeah.
Do you still get that nervous at the start of each job, or was there something particular about Supergirl?
You know, that's a really good question. I don't at the start of each job, but there was something about stepping into an iconic kind of lineage. I mean, the irony is that I had been called a Luther before this, like when I was on Seinfeld. Elaine, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, I think it was Michael's character said, she's your Lex Luthor. Or no, it was actually Jerry Seinfeld said to Julia,
no way.
Luthor. And then when I got the part, I was like, oh my gosh, like this was already divined before he stepped into it. So,
I love when crap lines up like that.
But it's so iconic, you know. We all have these images in our mind of what it's like to be either a superhero or a supervillain, and you just want to do it justice.
Yeah.
You know, you want to make sure that you are enough for it. So I guess I had a little bit of pressure on myself, and of course, as soon as we did it, I felt totally at peace and wasn't nervous after that.
Oh my God, we had so much fun. Had so much. I was so glad when you were on set because I felt honestly, and I'm not just saying this to be, nice, but I felt like I was among royalty because you just always, and I've said this to everybody, you were just grace personified. And I felt like being able to, like, our as intimate, but we had some really great intimate moments where it was just like, oh man, toe to toe with you was so much fun. And I loved it. Like it made me a better actor
Oh,
because it